So, very welcome to the episode 2 of Carpe DM Podcast. I'm your host, Peter myself, and today I'm happy to have my second guest, Daragh O'Neill.
Hello. How's everyone?
I believe this is your first podcast. How are you feeling?
First podcast. Not nervous, just different, weird. I said to myself this year that I was going to get in a podcast this year. Yeah, here we are.
I got you.
You did.
So, just for people who don't know you, you are a photographer, you're a videographer.
Mm-hmm.
You work with some of the big brands such as Asus, Littlewood, Primark, Tommy Hilfiger.
Yep.
Kind of the big question that I got from my Instagram poll that I put out was, how did you get into photography itself? Like, how did it start for you?
So basically, when I was in school, my granddad passed away. He was a photographer. He was kind of like, he used to shoot my granny at home and stuff like that. He did it as a hobby, kind of, and he loved it. He did a lot of portrait stuff. He loved taking pictures of people. And then when he passed away, his camera was passed on to me. It was like a Canon 500N film camera. And I just started taking photos of family and stuff like that, and didn't really see much of a thing with it at the start. I was about 13 at the time. And then from there, I was actually going to go to college after school and do aircraft engineering.
So nothing to do
with like
completely different.
Nothing to do like creatively, and I've always been a creative person. I used to make YouTube videos when I was like 12, 13, like gaming videos, stuff like that on YouTube, and used to love putting things together and, you know, being creative. So yeah, just before I applied for a apprenticeship to be an aircraft engineer, and I actually got into the first stage. And at the time I was like taking more photos. I got my first camera then like when I was like 17.
What was your first camera?
Canon ADD.
Classic.
So I started just taking photos and really got into it. And then before I went into the apprenticeship, I was like, no, I can't do this. Like, I need to chase this, you know, because I know that I can do it differently and have lots of ideas. I need to put it to paper, and actually I want to make a living out of this, you know, because when I found out you make money from just taking photos and videos, I was like, no way, like I can do this.
It's a dream come true, like,
dream come true. Yeah, like then I didn't take the course. I didn't take the apprenticeship. I actually went to Pulse College then in Ringsend. I studied film production for a year while doing my own freelance work. I started making connections, shooting with like a few bloggers and stuff like that, and that kind of grew, and then I just got meeting more people in Dublin. After I left college, it was probably a good like year of like just trying to make money and stuff like that. I used to work in Tesco.
Yeah.
I used to work like in retail, and I basically used that job to save up for all of my gear and save up for everything I have, like camera, MacBook, and like just the essentials. And then quit that job with like a few grand in my bank account, I'd say. I had nothing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm just going to make this work. And I did. And I went broke for a while.
Was it discouraging? Was it scary? Like, firstly, the not going to secure, so to say, job of apprenticeship, then dropping out from Tesco and going after dream, and then kind of low-key failing?
Yeah, like there was a sense of fear there.
Yeah.
You know, even when you are doing freelance, it's not a secure job.
Yeah.
You know, you're always waiting for the next job to come in. What I loved about it was the risk factor of like quitting my job and going for something that I want to do and I love for the rest of my life. That was it. Like, I couldn't be comfortable in a job and just be like, do a 9-to-5 job where I was comfortable in a comfortable situation, going home, not worrying about work, then going back to work the next day. I just didn't like being comfortable. So I was like, I need to be risky. I need to do something outrageous and just go for this. And that was kind of it. Yeah. And then I did my first campaign, I think it was last September, not that long ago. And I think it was for Tommy Hilfiger. And then
so big name. Would you say that campaign was the point for you when you really thought you are lifting off, like it's really happening for you then?
Yeah, exactly. Like working with proper influencers, and that was when like people actually believe in me. They actually like what I do, and they think I'm good. So
what kind of feedback did you get from your family or friends when you were just first starting off?
When I first started off,
yeah, because like as I said like earlier on, like being this kind of a secure job and then going into absolute unknown.
Yeah, like my parents didn't really understand it at the start. They were like happy for me to go and do the aircraft engineering course, stuff like that. And I was like I remember saving up for like a digital DSLR, and my mother was like, why buying a camera, like makes no sense. Just didn't understand it, which is fair enough. And I bought my camera anyway. The more I did it, the more they understand. Like, they understand now and they love it. And, you know, they really support me. They're so supportive. It was just kind of me showing them that I'm going to do this, you know. And they would never, like, my parents would be the type of people to be like, you need to go to college, you need to do this. They kind of just support me whatever I do. Like, if I stopped doing this now, they'd still be like,
they'd still be there for you, like.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, at the start, it was like kind of just, okay, we'll let them do this. And then here I am today. So
you mentioned Tommy Hilfiger and you worked with some other big brands.
Yeah.
To this day, what have been your favorite campaign that you've done?
My favorite campaign. So probably the funnest campaign I did was for Reese. I did it with a model called Aoife Carty as well. And that was my first ever like long fashion film.
Yeah.
It wasn't great by any means, but the fact that I put a whole storyboard together in a mood board and we had a location and proper set, that kind of thing, it was great. That's probably my favorite. That was my funnest campaign. The one that I've done and I'm most proud of is H&M, the recent one I did with Siobhan McCauley.
For those of you watching us on YouTube, we're going to put a photo from that campaign right now.
Yeah, one of my favorite campaigns. Actually, that was the second campaign I did with them. The first one was in in Hoth, and the response from that video was great, and it was just one of my favorite ones I've ever done.
How did you go about getting clients and actually making money from photography?
See, that's the question, like, so generic, because like everyone wants to know the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, how do you do it? Like, there's no set way to do it. You know yourself.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
it's just not easy. I think it was just networking. Like, I used to cold call people back in the day when I
That never really works now.
It's like, oh, hey, I used to see you own a gym. Do you need a video guy or whatever? And they'd be like, no, we're fine. It's just months of doing that. Yeah, like, I think making connections is the biggest thing. So working with influencers at the start and getting to know them, and then getting to know their circle, doing a good job, because, you know, regardless, if you do a video for someone and they really like it, they're going to use it again. They're going to pass you on to other people. So the biggest thing, I think, for me, in terms of making money and having a platform for yourself and having a name for yourself, is to just make connections and just be humble, you know, be yourself. Don't be someone that you're not.
Don't fake it till you make it.
Yeah, exactly. Not in this industry.
Yeah.
Because if you say something, or if you like do something bad, or say something about you're doing this and that, and you're not really, it gets out quick.
Like I feel like if you, especially in this industry, if you go about saying that you will deliver something and you just simply cannot, that will just reflect so badly on you.
Exactly. Always be truthful to what you can actually do and deliver, I suppose.
So we mentioned the clients that you have already worked with.
Yeah.
Are there any clients that you like dying to work with?
Yeah, of course. Loads.
Yeah.
I actually want to do a lot of stuff for automotive brands like BMW and Audi. And I want to work for like a high fashion brand like Louis Vuitton. It's very out there, but Louis Vuitton. I want to work with some fragrances, Hugo Boss, that kind of thing. I want to really, really expand, and I want to do a lot more stuff. Maybe swimwear. There's a guy that I really look up to. Clint is his name. He does a lot of like swimwear, lingerie stuff, and it's just insane. Sam Damashek is another guy. He shoots influencers and that kind of thing, and he shoots for like lingerie brands, that kind of thing. I would like to be shooting that a lot more going forward, shooting some fashion shows and stuff like that.
You've mentioned a few of the names there, like the whom you look up to.
Yeah.
Starting off, were there any kind of big names that you like, I want to be him or her? Like
big names at the start. I think the start is like probably Sam Calder, man.
I feel
travel
like
videos.
Yeah, if anybody does or knows anything about photos, Sam Calder will be definitely one of the names that pops up.
Yeah.
And his travel videos.
Yeah, I think everyone looks up to him at the start. It's like
that
amazing.
orange and teal filter.
I know,
oh my god.
everyone uses that. Everyone. But yeah, no, I think probably Sam Calder and travel videos, stuff like that, you know.
Would you see yourself trying to go into the direction yourself, like travel videos, or just would you say with fashion?
The thing about travel videos is that, like, realistically now, if I was to make travel videos, I probably couldn't make money from them, but that's not really it. Like,
especially not now with COVID.
Not now with COVID, exactly. But yeah, like, at the moment, even being in this house, I'm finding myself just kind of making more passion projects, and I have stuff that I haven't posted that much stuff, but there's a lot of stuff in the works that I just want to make, like, you know, like moving house and stuff like that, like kind of travel type videos when I'm in the house, and hopefully I can produce more of them at the end of the year. But like if I was to do them, it just kind of be stuff that I'd shoot when I'm bored, or put stuff together. So yeah, like I'd love to shoot a travel video, but then again, when you go traveling, it's not that easy either. It looks so easy, but it's not.
It looks easy that you travel and you just shoot, but at the end of the day, you have to make money as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's kind of the difficult part.
Have you ever shot any travel films?
I've done photos, so I wouldn't be that much of a videographer myself. So most of my work will be photos. So I've done work with some travel agencies. Yeah, so that'll be that. Like, so I'd be licensing my photos for they use for posters, stuff like that.
And how would that work? Like, how would you work with the agencies? Would you reach out to them, or they reach out to you when you're traveling, or how does that work?
So mostly kind of you pitch, or another thing that kind of happened to me mostly was when I was traveling and I would post on Instagram and go kind of semi-viral on travel pages. I'll get contacted by travel agencies or boards, and they will like license a photo from me.
Okay. Oh,
but that's very rarely that happens. Like most frequently, what happens when you see those people who like Sam Calder and all, they get commissioned to do a video or photo. So like they get contacted, or they contact an agency or travel board, and they go off and do a video for them. So for example, I'm sure 2-3 years ago when Sam was in Peru, in Bolivia, now he got commissioned by the Beautiful Destinations. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
that was the one. Yeah, I remember hearing that before.
Going back to influencers that you were looking up to at the start and all, obviously I'm just as guilty of that myself. Like when you start off, you look at those big names and you want to replicate their work, and you don't really have your own style. You just kind of
you're kind of copying at the start.
You are, yeah. How did you go about like developing your own style? Like because you do have a style right now. Like going through your Instagram feed.
You think? That's the thing. I don't know if I have a style. I've just kind of like, I know I have a specific kind of style in my mind. Yeah. But I think the one thing that I need to work on is like having, or maybe not, because you look at a lot of like Instagram feeds and they're all the same colors, and people are like, oh, that's so cool. But then again, I don't think I could do that. having the same filters and
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? But in terms of like my style, I suppose just picking it up from other people and then just making it my own. That's really what it was.
What would you recommend to somebody who just starting off, like has just kind of picked up the camera and want to kind of go into photography? How would you recommend them to go about developing their style, learning? Like if you were to go back to the start yourself, what would you do?
When I go back to the start,
or would you do anything like different?
Not at the very start. I don't think I'd do anything different at the very start. I think maybe if you're starting out and you really want to literally pick up. Don't like you can copy, make it your own way. Just make it your own style. Or if you want to like copy like a video from I don't know like Matt Como, Sam Calder, do that. But like make it your own in a way. Make it your own story. Things that pop into your head for your own style. Just even mix other creators' style and put them together. Make it your own. Literally just make it your own. There's no really way to describe it, I guess. But yeah, just make it your own and do what you can with it, you know. And if you're passionate about it, it's definitely something you're going to be able to do. So.
And then in terms of working with brands and like modeling agencies, you know, how do you go about contacting agencies for shoots and like test shoots?
Yeah, so that's actually like something that I wanted to do for a long time, but I could have done it sooner. I did that like a long way down the road when I was already shooting for brands. So I contacted First Option I still work with them today, and they're my first agency I contacted, and I actually sent an email to like 10 different agencies in Ireland because it's very small, but there is a good few. And I basically just said, hey, I'm up and coming photographer in Ireland, lifestyle photographer, fashion photographer. I want to have more stuff in my portfolio. Is there any new faces you want me to test and that kind of thing? You always test with new faces to start, and because like they're the starting models and there's no pressure. Then they'll, you know, it's maybe a beginner photographer with a beginner model, and then you get pictures for the model's book and for the agency, and they love that kind of stuff.
So the win-win situation.
Yeah, just reach out really, and but be smart about it. Don't be like, hey, do you have any work my way, or can I work for you guys? Literally just ask the test, and you could be testing with an agency for like 2 years, but if you're good, something will come out of it. And you will get jobs out of it. Like I have agencies contact me now to work for them because I've done a few tests for them, and then getting to know their models, getting to know them, and building a really good relationship with 1 or 2 agencies. So that'll get you really far, in my opinion.
And then in terms of building portfolio, would you just recommend like doing those kind of shoots or?
So at the start, I actually used to take photos of friends at home, and that's how I like started off. And then I used them photos to go to agencies. So you can either do that, you can reach out to influencers as well, and because everyone loves free photos, so just do that.
Everyone loves free shit.
They do. So just like shoot your friend at the start, and then once you feel like you're at that level to shoot for an agency, or test shoot for an agency, or you have concepts in your head, because agencies, they love concepts as well. So concepts are mood boards. So definitely before you reach out, make sure you're ready for that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, make sure you can actually deliver. Because if you don't deliver to an agency, there's a hard chance that
I feel like when you start off like with photography, there's kind of a bit of a curve. So you pick up a camera, you learn a few tricks, and then you think you know everything.
Yeah, you do.
You do like, and I remember like maybe a year in, like I've learned a few Photoshop tricks, and I was retouching the face, and I done a like horrible job. Looking back, it was terrible because like the skin looked plastic.
Yeah.
But I was so proud of it. I put it like as a profile on Instagram, on Facebook, everywhere, and I was like, oh my god, people will never know. Everyone knew. Everyone.
Really?
Well, like it's obvious. Like if there was retouch, it was filtered up. Like
yeah.
But like I feel like when you're just in that moment, you're just so proud you've learned something.
Yeah.
You just like totally.
It's like the feeling of like learning it. And actually
there's like a veil over your eyes, and you don't think objectively about it at all. Like.
Yeah. And you just like look at the photo for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, look.
It's great.
It's brilliant. I don't even retouch, man, as well. Like, just people always say, how do you do your style? Like, how did this come out of your head? Like, realistically, for campaigns, I'd send my photos off to other people to retouch, and I do just all the coloring and that kind of thing. So there's still a lot I need to learn. But like I'm sending my photos off to people to be retouched and stuff like that. So you don't have to know everything. You know, as long as you know the basics and you have as long as you can deliver on time and you're reliable and you're good at what you do, then you be part of your set, you know. That's
pretty true. Like, at what moment, you know, like from picking up your camera, taking photos, did you know that you were like you're ready yourself to go out and like actually make money from it?
When did I know? So there was actually a specific point, I suppose, when I did actually start charging. It wasn't really like that I thought I was fully ready. I just had a lot of stuff on my portfolio. I had a website out, and I said, once I have a website, that's it, I'm going to charge people.
Yeah.
At the very start, it was quite low. Like, you'd be taking €70 for a job, or 500 quid for a job, or something small like that. That's how it started off. Just chancing my arm, man, really. Because like you don't really know if people are going to say yes or no. And
it's kind of the same for me as well. Like for me, like I was an event photographer, so like I had a kind of portfolio of doing various events, like shooting balls and all. And then there was an event in UCD for, I think it was like Freshers Ball, and there was like some kind of a big name coming in, like And because I had like a portfolio already, I just came up like, I'll do it for free for you.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, do it.
Really?
Yeah. Cause
That's the thing as well, actually. Like, if you can work for free at the start, if you like reach out to people and say you work for free for like a solid year, that'll help you so much more down the line in the next 2 or 3 years.
Like I showed up to the event manager, like, you have this event coming up, like, I'll do it for you for free.
Yeah.
If you're happy with the photos, you can post them to whatever. Like, next event, you know where to go if you if you enjoy them. The very next event, like, I think it was like 2 weeks down the line, I was the first one to get called to do the entire job, and that was the event that was with Diplo.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
With Diplo.
Which was like, to this day, like, it was, in terms of monetary, I couldn't care less. Like, but it was just like working.
Having that on your fucking portfolio, like, it's insane.
It was just like, I was behind the stage with Diplo doing all the kind of stage photography. It was a major jump, but if I didn't like just do that,
you didn't offer your service for free, you wouldn't have got that. Yeah,
I feel like you just have to kind of just chance your arm. Like, worst case scenario, to say like no.
That's it, man. You know, they're just gonna say no, and like, if they say no, that's fine. You move on to the next. Like, if you know yourself, if you manifest, I'm a big person on manifestation, and if you manifest something and you just keep it in your head, it's gonna happen for you. You have to work for it, but for example, like 6 months of solid hard work can put you 4 years ahead of a lot of other people. And like, just having that in your head, having goals in your head, and going to you don't even have to work on them every day. Just write stuff down. And I
feel like for a lot of people, they just expect to reach something very, very quickly.
Yeah.
It's like, it could be hard workers, but like, they work hard for a week or 2 a month.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, I was working flat out for a month.
Yeah.
And I'm still not there. There's no point. It
doesn't work like that, no.
But it's like, okay, that was only 1 month of hard work. Like, you know, you had put in like a year, maybe 2 years of hard work to
There's no time it's going to happen. It just has to come to you. And it will come, like, things just come like that, and like, bang. Like this house, for example.
It's mad. Like,
I was shooting, man, like, even before the house, it was like a month of like work coming in, work coming out, because of COVID as well. And then I just was literally chilling out, and I got that text from Jake, and now I'm here shooting every day. It's just like, what the fuck?
How do you find the difference between doing all the fashion shoots, influencer shoots, and like working in this house?
So I kind of like to tie it in with my own style. If I'm shooting the guys here, I like to kind of make it my own, and that's how I feel like, that's why I came to this house. One of the reasons as well is because even though I shoot fashion and shoot a lot of lifestyle stuff, and it's a lot different than this, I feel like I was easily able to tie it in my own style. And plus, it is something I've always wanted to get into, like the YouTube side of things, and, you know, creators and that kind of thing on this side of the spectrum. Because in Ireland, like, I knew like Jake Paul podcast, and like there's Jay Alvarez, and like, you know, they're all hanging out in the same circle, and that's how I think this is going to go as well. Even though it's a very different type of content, it can get you very far. Like, you can do whatever you want with it, you know. So yeah, it was just kind of like a risk, but like, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna make it happen, and like, tie my own style into it. Because a lot of people have asked me that, they're like, you coming here is like not making the same work, it's kind of like putting you in a different way, clients are going to be turned off. That hasn't been the case. Like, obviously some people
like, I don't see why clients be turned off. Like, you're still doing photography, still like delivering good products. Like,
yeah, exactly.
If anything, you just show that you are able of delivering different type of content. So if
100%, 100%, it's different type of content. You need to expand and try things new. You can't be like, you can't just stick yourself to one thing. If an opportunity comes along, just take it. You know?
If anything, like, people be looking at your portfolio now and be like, oh, he can do fashion, lifestyle, and like this kind of content as well. Like,
100%. Expand yourself, you know, because like, you never know what you can do.
And like, for me, like, at least, like, I see this as an opportunity to be always kind of creative mode. Because like, when you're always around like people who are like thinking creatively, doing creative stuff, videos, photos, you just think differently, I feel.
Yeah, like, because it seems like for you did all the travel stuff, but you've thrived from this, man. Like, you've jumped into this and started so many ideas, like doing so many shoots. And how did that work for you? Like, was it just something that you wanted to do?
It's actually kind of weird. Like, for me, I started off as an event photographer. Then I did like a stint for a while doing some fashion shoots as well. But I never really thought of myself as a portrait or fashion photographer. But like, I just enjoyed events much more because like the atmosphere then was just like, I loved being behind the scenes of on stages, in crowds. It was just like, I don't know, I loved it. It's electric.
It is.
And then like, once I started traveling, like, traveling just kind of became a thing. Like, and for me, like, what I enjoyed the most about like travel photography is how long you have to go, and like through what efforts you have to go to get a photo sometimes.
Yeah, because I don't even know what that's like. Like, I just see these mad photos of penguins and stuff. And
so like,
you just take that straight away. Did you wait hours? Or like,
it's fucking mad. Like, so some photos, like with penguins, I'd be sitting in fucking snow for maybe an hour,
really,
just waiting for a penguin to like look at me or they will come up close to me. And then some photos when in the mountains. One of the photos of me, and I'll put up the photo here, we went up to Torres del Paine, which is a national park in Chile. And we had to hike for 25 kilometers for 6 hours, like through the most rockiest terrain ever, to get there at a certain time.
Yeah.
To take a photo on a drawbridge with the glacier behind us.
Yeah.
We were like, we got it and all. Like, I crashed my drone while I was doing that as well. Like, I got the shot though. I was pissed off that I crashed the drone, but I got the shot. I got the shot. I couldn't care less.
That should be what's it called? The Crossway in Japan.
Oh yeah, Shibuya crossing.
Yeah, that drone shot you showed me was insane. That was mental.
So if I have the shot here, I'll put up for those of you who are watching us on YouTube. But essentially, it was a shot of the Shibuya crossing going up vertically, and it's just like thousands of people crossing the road at the same time.
Yeah.
And it was just like, was mad.
Crazy, man. You'd do anything for the shot, though, wouldn't you?
Yeah, like it's the story behind it that drives me so much. That's why I love like travel photography.
Yeah.
Another photo I'll put up here. I've heard about this sand dune in Newcastle in Australia, and I was just literally passing through that for one day, and I had no car, and the only way of getting to that sand dune was if I took a bus for an hour and walk for 3 hours. Through the forest into the dune myself. Yeah. So I've done that. I was in the middle of a sand dune, absolutely nobody around me. I had a tripod and a bag. I've set it up. I got all the shots I wanted, and I left. Like, had to go back for about like 4 hours again to the bus and like go back to the town itself. But like, it's the story behind it. It's I will get that shot.
I've never been in like any crazy situations. Probably not. Like the photo actually I sent you, that was like taken in a private property. I went there with my sister. This is when I first started taking photos, and I was kind of doing like test shots as a picture brand. I took this shot. She was just kind of had her hand in the pocket, like it was just an outtake.
Yeah.
The fact that we weren't meant to be in there, the farmers couldn't see us. It was like a beautiful evening as well, and it's just such a natural shot, man. Like it's just, I don't know. It's like kind of represents freedom in a way. That's why I love that shot, you know, and just how there is a story behind that, and that's what makes it great as well.
Yeah.
I took that photo when I was just starting out as well.
For me, like now that you mentioned that kind of the shot kind of when you're starting off,
yeah,
a shot that really kind of put me in the mood to do travel photography and all was when Tom and I were traveling through Japan.
Yeah.
There is this bamboo forest in Osaka, I believe, and I really want to take the photo there. Like I've seen one of the photos on Instagram, and I was like, I want a shot there. And Tom and I went there. We couldn't find the actual kind of location, so we just took a shot, and like we're happy enough, like because like maybe it was just photoshopped or whatever.
Yeah.
The following day we went up to Kyoto. The bamboo forest is in Kyoto. We went to Osaka, and we meet these 2 Australian girls, and they show me this exact location. They took the photo where I wanted, and I was like, where the hell was that? And they go, well, it's just around the corner from where you were. And I was so angry. I was so pissed off.
You didn't get it? You didn't get the
I didn't get the shot on that day. But, okay, so they arrived on the evening. Tom and I, we did sunrise shot at 3 o'clock in the morning. And then we had to check out at 9. So I had like 4 hours. And during those 4 hours, I had an option either go back to the hotel, pack my bags and check out, or grab my bag, take 4 trains to that bamboo forest again, take the photo, and try to make it in time for checkout. And I'm like, Needless to say, you know what I did?
What did you do?
So we finished doing our sunrise shots. We took this photo here, bang. And I was like, okay, I have 2 hours to get there and 2 hours to get back. So I get a train to Kyoto, I get another train to Bamboo Forest. I miss my stop, and I end up like being in the middle of a forest in the lashing rain. And there's no trains around me anywhere. I'm just standing there. It's just like...
Are you on your own?
On my own by myself. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm just like, okay, what do I do now? It's like pouring raining. It's like I'm praying for another train to arrive so I can go back to the stop that I should have went to. It arrives like within like 5-10 minutes. I go on it. I go off to the bamboo forest again. At this stage, like my bag, everything is wet.
Yeah.
And it's like... My camera's probably be broken now, but I'm still going to get that shot.
Get
I'm going to get that shot now. Now I'm just pissed off. Like I want to get it.
That's dedication, man.
So like I arrived there. Like at that stage, there's nobody in the forest because like I'm the only one. I'm the only one stupid enough to be there in the rain and that early. So I arrive. I set up my tripod, take the photo. It like back then I was using 700D, so like the photo itself is not as good as I wanted it because like I was limited by the camera itself. But I was so happy I got the shot. Just having it, you know.
Having it.
I got it, and then like I had to take 2 more trains back to the hostel, and I made it just like within 5 minutes
to check out. That's like, that reminds me, like, it's not as, this isn't as crazy as your story, but just like the effort that you put in that you only realize after. Like I used to live in Cavan before this house, where my family home is, and I'd be traveling every week on a bus, 9 a.m, coming back to Cavan like 9, 10, like 12-hour days. I could be soaking wet. I could be walking through town just get to do a free shoot, and I'd do that for like months on end. And then you only realize after, it's like, holy fuck, I really love doing this. Like, you know what I mean? And I'd do anything to fucking make this happen. So I can understand what you mean. Like,
I feel like you have to be a bit crazy, you know, to make it.
Yeah, you can't be just sitting around and just being like, I'll do this and I'll try and do this. No, you're not gonna fucking do that. You go and make it happen yourself.
I'm sure it'll be grand.
Yeah. I can't be dealing with that, man. Like, just, you need to make stuff happen straight away, and there is no perfect time to make stuff happen either. You literally need to do it whenever possible.
Like, I feel like for a lot of people, like, at the moment it's not right. I'll wait for a better moment.
Yeah.
And they keep waiting for that moment, and it just never arrives.
Yeah, I'm the same. I am guilty of that though as well.
Like, I think I told you the story myself when I was doing my first YouTube video.
You did.
So, like, for our listeners, I'll put it in the start. So, I decided to start YouTube when I went over to Berlin for Erasmus, and I got kind of inspired by my room. It was very, very kind of Tumblr kind of design, very wide, high ceilings and all. It's like, and I was like, okay, I need to take advantage of this room. I'm gonna start YouTube. And for about a month, I would set up my camera and I'll start talking to the camera, and I just like mess up, and I just gotta put it away. But before like I even do that, like I wait for my roommates to leave to go to college and work, so I'll be there by myself because I was just too embarrassed.
Yeah.
And like for about a month, I kept doing that, and it just kept messing up. And I was like, no, it's just not the right time. You know, I'll wait for like next week, tomorrow, whatever. And like I was just like, it's just not for me. And then eventually, like one day, I actually had a casting in a modeling agency, and I was like, okay, it is the most exciting thing I'm gonna have for the next like few weeks, probably happening. I need to make a vlog out of this.
Yeah. You need to make the most out of it. Like,
yeah, and looking back, it was a terrible vlog, it was a terrible video. But if I didn't do that,
you wouldn't be doing this now.
No.
Really?
No.
That's the thing as well. Like that video I made last week or the week before, you were there. I just wasn't going to post it. I was like, this is so out of my comfort zone. But if I didn't do it, I got such a good response. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do this again.
I feel like a lot of people overthink it.
Yeah, they do.
Because like people have to realize when they start off like anything creative, especially, or not even creative, like any job or any skill, like at the start, you will be shit.
Yeah, you're gonna be shit.
And like you just have to put yourself out there. You will improve, like, but you have to like realize like if you don't start putting yourself out there, you won't really kind of improve. You'll just be in a shell there.
Exactly. Like there's a lot of photos I take and I wouldn't show anyone. You know what I mean? I wouldn't post them. I just take photos at home with family, stuff like that. But yeah, like you kind of just have to deal with the criticism. Like when I was in school, when I did YouTube like years ago, I used to just do college YouTube videos, stuff like that. I remember I was in school. I was in first year, and it was like I was like 2 weeks into school. First day, like first 2 weeks secondary school, and I remember like the whole class, the whole year was in one room, and I walk in, and there's about 50 people there, a big projector up on the wall, and people looking at my YouTube video, pissing themselves laughing. Like the whole class, man, the whole class just taking the piss out of me, like. And I kept doing it, and I kept going on, and the hate did and didn't affect me. And people just kind of laughed at the start, being like, he's out of his head, you know what I mean? And then here I am today, still doing creative stuff. It's just...
But I feel like, especially in Ireland, like it's kind of such a small town mentality.
Oh yeah, it's so bad. It's so bad. It's like ridiculous. Like even in Cavan, and I love Cavan. I love growing up there, but realistically, like there was nowhere for me to grow there. It's a very small town where you grow up, you get a job, build a house, and you have a family, and that's kind of maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I got you.
People are probably going to roast me, but that's what I think the mentality is over there, and that's why they didn't understand what I was doing. Some people still don't understand, but like you can't really expect people to understand if they're raised a certain way or whatever. Like, but even in Ireland, as you said, the social media game is just kind of behind here. You know? Would
you see yourself going somewhere abroad, like to grow?
Yeah, definitely. I think I want to do some work in London. I'd love to work for some agencies in LA, New York, Paris, Milan. Lots of places I want to go to. How about yourself? Do you have anywhere that you want to go that you haven't been yet?
Because I'm more of a travel photographer. Like I really want to do Iceland. I've been putting off for a while.
Iceland would be insane. Yeah, we talked about this actually a while ago. Yeah, we need to go to Iceland. We need to do it.
Gotta make it happen. Like Iceland and then like Norway, but like north of Norway, like
where like it's really snowy and I've seen so many videos about that. That place would be insane.
Thinking of the Norway and all those cool photos, I kind of realized that for a lot of people, when they go on Instagram, they just see all the best shots of all photographers and videographers. And even that could be quite encouraging and inspiring, that could be quite discouraging as well. Because like they look at those photos and be like, I'm just not able to do that.
Literally.
Whereas they don't see like hundreds of shitty photos that
like my Instagram, I'm very guilty of that. People are like, my Instagram, everything on my feed is like probably the best out of everything I've done.
Yeah.
There's like,
same with me. Like
thousands and thousands of shitty shots and stuff I just haven't posted. And like, I don't take a photo when it's magic. It just doesn't work like that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's just like I think your feed is like the best moments of your life in little pictures, isn't it?
I've got to find out for myself at least. Before I post, I overtake it so much. Like, is it good enough for the feed? Like, would it be like a better reflection of me? Even though a photo could be perfectly fine, like, but just like, you know, maybe you won't like fit with the color scheme or whatever. You just start overtaking it way too much.
You do. Like, would you be the kind of person to like sit there and look at your likes for like half an hour?
No.
Like, I do. I'm really bad at that.
I used to be as bad, like when I was just starting off Instagram, like when I was doing a lot of fitness and all. I was kind of mad for statistics, like how many I got in X amount of hours, days, you know, like how much did I grow from that. Now I just like, I don't even check it anymore. Yeah. Because like, I know I like the photo. I'm proud of my work. If people like it, that's cool. If they don't, they don't.
They don't. Yeah. Like, fair enough. Like, it's weird for me because I stopped looking at it here because all my fashion work used to do the best, and then anything else that wasn't fashion would do really bad. And now it's like the go ahead stuff does the best, and the fashion stuff just doesn't do well at all. So it's like, but yeah, I used to look at my analytics as well and just be like, oh fuck, minus 25%. I don't even know what that means, but it's not good. Yeah, no, but I am guilty of that. I think we all are, though. You know?
Like, I'm not sure, a guilty pleasure of seeing and that little red heart popping up on your Instagram screen. Like,
it's like a dopamine.
It's
a dopamine rush. Like, it's addictive. It's so bad, man, for our generation.
It is, like, definitely.
It's really bad, but like, what can you do? You know, just kind of distance. I try to like turn off every evening.
For me, like, I find it if I'm busy enough, I just don't care like to look at my Instagram or any social media network. I just post. I know it's good. If it does well, it does well. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
No
like,
point in beating yourself up about it. Yeah.
Just go on to and move on to the next project. Simple as.
Keep going because something will, and it is as well. Like, whereas is that one post that can blow up and you just don't know.
And that's actually kind of funny because like sometimes you put in so much work into like a photo or video, and it does like so bad. Yeah. Like
really bad.
10 views or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you do like a simple edit, you just throw it up, it's like you don't care about it. Yeah. And it just blows up.
It blows up.
So you never know.
You never know. You can never tell.
Because like what you may like, people will be just like not appreciated, and vice versa. What you may think is shite, it could be like the best work in other people's eyes.
Exactly.
Kind of just goes back to the point of if you don't start posting and like putting yourself out there, you won't really grow.
I also like to tell some of my friends as well that are doing the same thing, is that they're really good and they have good, you know, they're doing well, but they're not very good at consistency. And I think that's so important. Like posting, not every day, but being active on your stories, being active on, because social media is your portfolio. Yeah. You know, it is your platform to meet people. You need to be consistent with it. And if you're not that you're going to go down further, but it just is important because it does a lot for you.
You need to stay relevant, if that makes sense.
Stay relevant, You need to stay relevant in some sort of ways. Even if you're not trying to stay, even if you can't stay relevant, as long as you're active, people will still like that, you know.
Because like I remember reading about like laws of attraction now, like what you actually find appealing has a lot to do with how much you actually see it. Yeah. There was a study done, and there was a kind of a flicker of images shown to a person, and then they were asked who did they find the most attractive out of all the images. Yeah. And one image was shown like twice as much as all of the other images. Okay. And every single person chose that image because it was shown twice as much. Really? Yeah. And so it kind of goes back to kind of social media, like the more your face is seen, like the more people are kind of, oh yeah, that's so and so. Yeah.
They're cool because they're relevant. Like, I suppose. Yeah. People just attach themselves to what they like to see, you know? I don't know. But I know what you mean.
It's all about seeing the familiar faces.
Yeah, seeing the familiar faces.
And kind of just going back to kind of photo shoots and all that you were doing. You mentioned that you were doing some online photo shoots through Facetime, I believe. Yeah. How the hell did that work?
So during lockdown, like when lockdown happened, I thought, okay, I'm not going to take any photos for the rest of the year. I think everyone was panicking. I was panicking.
Pack away the camera, goodbye.
Just forget my business is gone. But what happened was I actually started seeing it on Instagram. Like Sam Damashek is one of the first person I see. I don't know if you know who he is. He does like photo shoots he's mostly working in LA now, but he works a lot with like different, like the Hype House. He works with like just a lot of relevant influencers. So he was the first person that I seen doing it. And it's like, that's cool. I'm gonna give that a go. Did one with a model for First Option, and as a kind of a joke, didn't think it would happen, didn't think it would work. And I posted it. It blew up. People loved it. The agency started reaching out to me. It's like, we need you to do 6-7 more of these, and I just kept doing them every month or every week. I think I was doing them for like 2 or 3 a week at some point. people were like, "This is fucking great, man." It's like all I did is take a screenshot and just
So were you doing the screenshots, or was the person like
yeah?
put
So
a timer?
basically on FaceTime, there's like a little button now where you can press take a screenshot.
Yeah.
So I would just send them the model and mood board, and I send them looks, and they do that, and then we find places in their house or wherever they were in their home, and use them as backdrops. Got them to model their phone on like a tripod or something, and I was taking the photo from my end, and then I just dragged them all into Lightroom.
Like one thing that I found weird, like, cause you know when you're like on set, you can move around yourself, you can find the angle.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're like behind the camera,
So
in the camera yourself,
I know it's like it's so different. It is very different. But like it's all about communication and working with the model like in the right way, and that'll make it good photos. You know.
Would you say that like it's more challenging or like less challenging?
I would say it's more challenging. It's a lot more challenging.
Did you say you improved as a photographer overall from doing that?
Yes, definitely. It definitely changed my perspective on everything.
I feel like doing that definitely improves your skills to when you're communicating with models.
Yeah, like it does, especially because like you're talking with them over FaceTime. And like there's connection issues and everything, and some of them are tough, but like people kind of loved that concept. I don't know like how many people, there was a few people doing it as well. Alex Hutchinson, he's a fashion photographer, he was doing it as well. A lot of people were doing it, like, and it just kind of became a trend for a while, and then once people could start going out and taking photos again and doing shoots, then it kind of ended. But I'd still do them again. I'd still do them nowadays, you know.
Going off that, so you're using a kind of FaceTime camera for photos, and would you say that you need an expensive camera to do photography to make money?
No.
It's a nice link there, because like iPhone FaceTime camera is a shitty resolution.
It's really bad.
It's very bad.
It's very bad. Well, like going to let's say cameras, for example.
Yeah.
You don't. Like I think maybe if you're shooting like campaigns, if you're doing stuff that I do like an ADD, which is a crop sensor camera. It's not the best, but I had like a really fucking expensive lens on it. Like you're good and you have a specific style and people like it. Doesn't matter what kind of gear you're using, you can make money from it. Of course, you don't need good gear to make good photos. It's not how it works. Like the only reason I like bought my Sony, for example, was because I was getting to a stage where I was limited. On my previous camera, and you don't really need to get to that stage unless you're expected to do certain resolutions of photos and this kind of thing. But
I feel like at the stage when you actually need to upgrade, like investment in camera would not be such an issue.
No,
as compared to when you just starting off.
Yeah, exactly. Because you kind of have to think of them as tools for the job.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just another tool. Like if I was to go buy a fucking Hasselblad now tomorrow, I'd be like, I just need it for a job. Like it's not as if I need this to take good photos. And the more tools you have, the more creative freedom you have in what you can do.
And the more you can deliver as well.
Yeah,
the more you can offer.
Exactly. Yeah, having a drone, for example. I used to you can charge separately for drone stuff and do your video stuff. You can just do you just be creative with it, man. And you know, the more stuff you have, the more creative freedom you have.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
No problem at all.
It was great having you on this podcast.
Thank you. It's great being here.
I'm sure many people learn a lot of stuff about photography.
Yeah, hopefully.
Myself included.
Hopefully. Definitely would love people to shoot me some more questions on DM.
Yeah. For all of us listening to, Daragh O'Neill is on Instagram at Daragh.O'Neill.
That's me.
And I'll put all the links for his socials on YouTube. So go check him out as well. And you'll hear from me in my next podcast.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you. Until then, bye-bye.